Alright, hello everyone, Marty Six Inch Wrestlers here, and today we have we actually have technically three, but we have two DC versus WWE matchups, and this time we're getting the remainder of the JLA completed. So this time we have Superman versus John Cena, and we have Wonder Woman versus Nikki Bella. In the last matchup of the day, and we're going to do this in one video, will be Superman and Wonder Woman versus John Cena and Nikki Bella in a mixed tag team match. So I'm gonna list down the links down below for the Superman John Cena one, for the Wonder Woman Nikki Bella one, and the tag team match. All right. So Superman versus John Cena. Again, by standard DC versus WWE rules, we're gonna have to put them in at least in a comic book fight, and then later on we can put them in a wrestling match. So who would win? Well, in a comic book world, Superman is obviously stronger and faster. John Cena would be a little more durable since he doesn't have any physical weaknesses, unlike Superman with kryptonite. However, I take it that more than likely John Cena would know more about Superman than Superman would of John Cena. I should also bring up Superman has often lost to some regular people before, and so I think because of that, I think Cena has an edge, or at least an advantage. Yeah. Superman can fly, and obviously it's crazy when he doesn't hold back, but I think even in this case, he's gonna hold back, and I think it's mostly because he's fighting a normal human. Like against Doomsday, he doesn't need to hold back, because let's face it, Doomsday is a killing machine, and plus, he can always come back. Same thing with Solomon Grundy. I don't think Superman really holds back against either of those guys. But against John Cena, I just don't picture Superman going all out on Cena. And I think it's also important to know that in a comic book world, they can use any weapons they want. So if Cena wants to rip the door off of a car and smack Superman with it, he can do that. Overall, I think it's just because John Cena would know more about Superman. I think he would have an advantage as to how to take him down, even without prep time. I think John Cena can probably take out Superman, at least in a fair one-on-one fight. So points goes to Cena. Now, who would win in a wrestling match? Again, this one's pretty tough, but I figure that since Superman doesn't really know a whole lot of martial arts, whereas at least I'm pretty sure if you want to get into wrestling, you have to learn some forms of martial arts at the very least. I may be wrong with that, but let me know in the comments. But again, the point I had to get to Cena. I think Cena is just a bit more of a better fighter. Also, the things he's done, like, he's beaten Brock Lesnar in an Extreme Rules match, which, by the way, those kind of matches are like the worst types of matches you can have with Brock Lesnar because well, one, nothing's illegal and anything can happen in those matchups. So the fact that Cena was able to beat him is very impressive. I know WWE is scripted, but it's still pretty impressive for what John Cena was able to do with Brock Lesnar at Extreme Rules 2012. He's beaten Randy Orton multiple times, even inside the cell. So yeah, he has some advantage fighting in areas like that. Cena's even fought The Undertaker, not often, but he has had some matchups with him. John Cena has even survived getting his neck broken by Batista. So I think some of Superman's punches will probably hurt John Cena. I don't think they're going to be enough to put him down. Plus, John Cena's whole tag is never give up. Means Cena would probably never give up against Superman. And like the comic fight, I don't see Superman going all out. Unlike Injustice Superman, which he probably will go all out against Cena. But normal Superman, no. I think it's also important to know that I don't think some of Superman's powers in a WWE ring are going to help him at all. Like his heat vision, freeze breath, they're not going to help him in this case because they're just going to result in Superman getting disqualified. But yeah. Overall, John Cena can actually beat Superman. At least in a fair fight. Because if we put this in like any other stipulation match, which yes, I do want to start doing with WWE versus DC Comics, I want to start putting these fighters in more than just normal one-on-one, your typical Raw or SmackDown matches. I want to start adding some extreme to these matchups. So yeah. However, let's say we put this in like Iron Man match. I think Superman will win just because of the fact that he doesn't need to always. He doesn't. It just really depends on how much time there is, but it's more the fact that Superman does not have to worry about now being John Cena. He just has to worry about either stalling him or gaining more victories than him, which, yeah, I think he can do. Same thing can go with any other match. Steel cage, which I think in that sense it's not a fair fight. You have to really tone down his powers. But literally any other match, I think Superman would win. But in a normal match, no, I don't think he will. He will win. All right. Time for our next DC versus WWE matchup: Wonder Woman versus Nikki Bella. All right. In a comic book world, I'm going to have to give the victory to Nikki Bella. And that's for one reason. For one, like with Superman versus John Cena, Nikki Bella will probably know more about Wonder Woman than Wonder Woman would know about Nikki Bella. Not to mention, this is a comic book fight. Means that, yes, anything is illegal in a comic book fight. Guns, sword, knives, any of that. And I think because of that, Nikki Bella gets to win. For instance, Nikki Bella can use, like I said, car doors as a weapon. She can use garbage cans. And I think the most important part is Wonder Woman is very vulnerable towards piercing objects. Which, for full disclosure, Nikki Bella is pretty good at doing stuff like that. If you saw her in WWE, even as a heel, you'll know that she would often trick her opponents. And I think it's that level of mischievous, can't say the word, that will probably gain her the victory over Wonder Woman in a comic book fight. That being said, in a wrestling match in the WWE ring, if this, like I said, if this was any other stipulation, like no holds barred, in a cell, steel cage, well, maybe not steel cage, Iron Man match, Extreme Rules, street fights, Inferno, any other match, I think Nikki Bella would win 10 times out of 10. But this is a normal stipulation match. A normal match where you can get counted out, you can get DQ'd, you can lose by KO and win by KO. You can get double count out, you can do any of that. In this matchup, Nikki Bella does not stand a single chance. This is probably because of the fact that not only does she have no edge or no ability. She has no way of taking down Wonder Woman. It's also important to note that pretty sure Nikki Bella has suffered a few neck injuries over the years. So automatically, if you put this one-on-one, Wonder Woman is stronger and faster. She's not even just as skilled as Wonder Woman, and so on both fronts, there's no way Nikki Bella can win. And keep in mind, this is a normal match where Brie Bella is not on ringside. Because if Brie Bella was on ringside, I don't think Wonder Woman is gonna fall for it. She can just say, "Look, it's a different fighter. It's Brie Bella." But in a normal match, Nikki Bella has no real advantage that can help her take out Wonder Woman. So who would realistically win in this matchup? Nikki Bella or Wonder Woman? Because on one hand, Nikki Bella can win in a comic book fight, but Wonder Woman can win in a normal WWE matchup. However, I'm probably going to have to give the edge to Wonder Woman, and that's simply because, well, yes, Nikki Bella can win in a comic book fight. That does not mean that some of her wrestling stuff that happened in her time in WWE will not apply to comics. For instance, Nikki Bella will still have half of her injuries, so it means Wonder Woman can easily target that. And second, I think the chances of finding actual pierced weapons, blade-piercing weapons, in a comic world, while very, very, very common, I don't think Nikki Bella is going to figure that out in time. And I think it's because of that that makes me give the edge to Wonder Woman. Now we have our final match. Superman and Wonder Woman versus John Cena and Nikki Bella. And look, I know for the diehard John Cena and Nikki Bella fans, I know they would wish they could say both John Cena and Nikki Bella can win. It doesn't matter the stipulation, they can win this matchup. I know they really want to admit that, but let's face it, Superman and Wonder Woman will easily win this matchup, and it's just simply because they've known each other way longer and have actually fought each other a lot more often. This is kind of one of the issues of doing mixed tag team matchups with WWE. It's very, very rare. With DC Comics, it's not that rare. So that's why for Superman and Wonder Woman versus John Cena and Nikki Bella, even in a comic world and a WWE ring, not only do Superman and Wonder Woman have far better chemistry, they have more experience, and also they actually have experience in fighting both alongside each other and against each other, and both have done tremendously well. I think it's just that level of experience and teamwork aspect that Superman and Wonder Woman have that John Cena and Nikki Bella don't. And it's also important to note the amount of times John Cena and Nikki Bella have actually fought alongside each other. The only time I think that comes to my mind is The Miz and Maryse in WrestleMania 33 in 2017. That's like the only time, from my knowledge at the very least, that Cena and Nikki Bella actually worked as a team. Other than that, no one comes to my mind, and I think it's in mixed tag team action. Superman and Wonder Woman got this in spades. All right, so that was Superman and Wonder Woman versus John Cena and Nikki Bella. Pretty cool. Probably the second most popular DC versus WWE matchup, which Superman versus John Cena. The first has to be Batman and Undertaker. The two biggest stars of both, the two biggest characters of both universes. Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, and for full disclosure, I think I'll be doing DC versus WWE from now on. I just think there's just so much more fun you can do. There's so much more fun you can do. With Marvel versus WWE, the problem is that the characters are way too tough. For instance, like I said before, if I put Spider-Man versus Undertaker, never mind. If I put Spider-Man in this matchup against John Cena, like a normal one-on-one match, Spider-Man's gonna destroy him. John Cena is not tagging him. That's why I think DC vs. WWE is a little bit more fair. Like, half the characters aren't that powerful. Only for, like, the exception. But even then, characters like Doomsday and Reverse Flash are only powerful because of who they're fighting against. You're never gonna see something like, oh, Undertaker versus the Flash. Flash wins. Because he's fast. No. You're gonna think about who would actually win. I was like, this is actually a pretty close matchup. Because on one hand, Barry is faster. He's not going to go all out. He knows he's fighting a normal person who's not doing anything wrong and is just playing a character. So maybe, I don't know, maybe there's a chance Taylor can win. And also, it's important to know that half of DC's characters' powers do not affect the match. For instance, Superman flying does not affect the match at all. Green Lantern's ring does not affect the match because, well, he has the ring on. And it's not like he's going to take it out. Very few characters, really. And I think it's mostly goes to, like, Batman, Wonder Woman, some of those guys. They kind of just have to tone down their weapons. But other than that, they should be fine. With Marvel, the problem is you have to realistically make it where the Marvel characters, you kind of have to just remove some of their powers. With, like, Spider-Man, you got Spider Sense. No matter what, that's not going to make it fair. Because on one hand, you need to make this at least a fight. In a comic world, I can do it. But in a wrestling match, no. And that's why I kind of quickly realized Marvel vs. WWE really isn't that fair, no matter what. So I'll be doing DC Comics versus WWE. Not only do I love DC Comics a lot more than Marvel, especially after the recent years, but I think DC has the more fair characters. It has the characters that you can actually genuinely see some WWE superstars gaining at least a victory over them. With the Marvel Universe, you really can't do the same. But yeah. So anyways, that was going to be probably the last DC vs. WWE video of the year. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Like, share, and subscribe. We hit 200 subscribers. Yes, let's go. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.